It's not the best way to conduct business. This is why you're not profitable with ICT, or this is how you need to use ICT. Markets change, right? At targets, this low, failed to create high, built liquidity. And that is one of the worst things to be in life. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of news today. Could ruin my week by just going on tilt on Friday. What the reflection of the Darwin should say, but often if it's ramped the risk up or knocked it down, it's going to be slightly different. That's what I am. I'm not just a trader. What's happening, guys and girls? How are we doing? It's Monday. It's the afternoon. Just got some food. Chicken, veg, sweet mash, hummus. Very healthy today because I didn't have like a bad weekend, but I feel like I've been eating a little bit too much. Steph bought sweet time and stuff like that, and we had pizza, and I just felt a little bit meh. So I thought, you know what, let me go back real health. Nice, quick, easy meal, and yeah, just cracking on. Not a lot happened on the charts this morning. I was kind of stuck between longs and shorts on EU, so I just decided to stay out. Often you'll find the best thing you can do sometimes is literally do nothing. If I just pull the chart up quickly, show you what I was looking at. Yeah, so obviously we're stuck in between these kind of two levels at the minute. You got these daily fair value gaps. You got these lows, which overall I think will be taken out. And obviously you got this low and this high. So we're kind of stuck within this range at the moment. This morning I was looking for sells, but I was mindful Asia hadn't been ran. We'd re-entered into this kind of level, which obviously sold off from before, and then we obviously had targets, this low, failed to create a high, built liquidity. That was the logic, but I just didn't execute on it. I wasn't feeling the best. Sometimes it's how it is. It's the best thing to do is do nothing. Wasn't completely fond of the position, so I thought I'd just wait, see what happens in New York. Yeah, other than that, I'm going to eat, going to catch up with Kieran. We've got a couple of bits to sort out, and then yeah, I'll pick this up in a little bit if anything's happening. Good gym session today. Solid walk, steps done, weather's decent, got some watermelon, had a walk. Sometimes it's the little things. It's not always about having these crazy days or these, drifting around in Lamborghinis, what people think this whole industry's about. Sometimes it's just doing the basic stuff, being grateful for, waking up, being able to work for yourself, work from home, get the kids ready for school, all the little things, right? Everyone always overlooks and overthinks those little things, and you think when you make money or you work for yourself, you're going to do all this crazy shit, but it's actually the little stuff that you actually do. So yeah, I'm going to leave you there. I'm eating my carrot. I'm going to catch you in a bit. How we doing? It's Tuesday morning. I've just done school run. Car's got a recall, so they need the car for the whole day. So just got to drop that off, and then I'll walk home, and then just crack on with the day. It gets my steps in. It's a little bit of a walk, but it gets my steps in, gets that done. Busy day today. Got lots on. It's one of my busiest days, and not having the car is a bit of an inconvenience. However, the recall needs to be done, so we need to get it done. I'm going to go in there, have a little browse, get a coffee, and then start walking home. What's happening, people? I'm home. That was quite a long walk, to be fair, but it's decent. My steps are ticked off, and it's like 9:30. Happy days. Job's done. Now, washing up. Does anyone, as an adult, do you remember when you were little, I had to do the washing up. It was either wash up or do the cooking. And I get it. My parents were trying to get me to learn how to cook, but also learning life skills, right? I remember being like, when I'm older, I'm never going to have to wash up because I'm an adult. And then you get to an adult and you're like, still got to wash up. So I'm going to wash up, and we're going to chat about something I spoke about last week. I do usually get Kira to do it, and I pay her. Like, she'll get her phone and all the different bits and bobs based on her doing bits at home. It's important. I don't want the kids to grow up thinking you can just get everything for free, because that is not how life works. Hopefully it's not too noisy. I feel like it might be. But yeah, anyway. So last week, I mentioned how I feel like the markets have definitely changed over the last couple of years. I don't want to say they've ever been easy, because that's incorrect. Obviously, unless you're buying like below, like when COVID hit all-time lows. If you're doing stuff like that, then I guess it's easy to ride the bull run or whatever. But they were a lot easier, in my opinion, to identify, right, based on different learnings, different metrics, different concepts. And lately, I've noticed that they're not as they used to be. And a few of you asked me, could I talk on it more? Is something you've noticed? Obviously, markets change, right? Like economics of the world, things that are happening in the world right now are naturally going to govern markets. They're going to govern things, with obviously news events. It's why some people trade or wait for news, because news is often the catalyst for the move, perhaps, or, they're waiting to see if inflation's increasing or whatever it might be, right? And obviously some people do just trade news. They just wait for the news drops and they trade, and if there's no news, they see it as a no trading day, right? However, things like back in the day, POIs, order blocks, OBs, area of interest, whatever you want to call it, they were very good and prominent. If you found a decent one that had taken out liquidity, broken a low or a high, it worked very well. Price would come back there, maybe it'd have a bit of imbalance or a fair value gap before it, and it would be a decent a decent level. And then obviously as things have gone on, now what we're starting to see is not really POIs and stuff are getting hit, it's more just fair value gaps, you know, and it's why you'll see on some of my charts, I'll have like daily fair value gaps marked now, because it's something I've noticed for a while that are holding more so than they used to. Now, I'm not saying they were never a thing, I know they're always a thing, before someone gives it the big un and, oh, they've always been a thing, you've just figured it out. No, they weren't. If you go back to 2020, 2021, they were just getting smashed about. You were very rarely trading off of just imbalance, you were trading off of like POIs that had created imbalance, you saw it as a fast move away, price should gravitate towards it, build some liquidity, bosh. It's not as easy as that, right? Then obviously you go into the liquidity stuff. Sometimes, for example, if you're trending, you're following expectation or order flow or whatever it is, right? You're putting in higher highs and higher lows. The theory is you should target the week low or the week high. Now you're seeing week highs and week lows hold, you know, and it's like, huh? You know, maybe your targets are not getting hit, or like last week in gold, right? I'm seeing it as weak highs. They didn't really create anything. They held, took me out. You know, it's little things like that that can be very detrimental to a trader if you're unable to identify that's happening and the conditions in the market are perhaps not as good as you would like them to be. Then sometimes you do have to start looking at that data and being like, okay, is there anything I can do to improve? Is there anything I need to add or be mindful of? You know, and obviously like my stuff's pretty much based on liquidity. You know, I find the bias for the day, I look for where the liquidity is being built, I look for it to be taken out, and then I look to get in. That's pretty much the premise of what I'm doing. A lot of people are doing it the same. I'm not a fan of all this like trapping traders, retail was wrong, you know, that's why you don't trade off of this POI, or you don't use market structure because they got took out. Because, no disrespect to anyone, right? But if it didn't work, then every single trade you took, if you knew where retail were getting in, you'd always make money, you wouldn't lose. Yet the people that say they know where retail are getting in have like a 50% or a 40% win rate. Now that's not a shot, I'm not saying that's wrong or incorrect, but what I am saying is everybody has their own view on how the market works or how it runs, whether it's algorithm driven, whatever it is. But what I'm aware of is we all share a common interest. Everyone shares a common interest in trading, and sometimes it's good to chat about how things are slightly changing. There's no ego around it. You know, if you've got an ego, get in the bin, mate, set fire to yourself. Like, no one cares. I'm just having a general conversation and doing some washing up. So how do I deal with that? Well, like I say, go over data, make sure you're logging trades, and don't just base it off of one trade. Like, that's where a lot of people go wrong, in my opinion, is they base things off of like a week or a trade, and it's very easy. Like let's take something basic, right? And this is not a shot before anyone thinks it's a shot. But let's say Asia sweep is how you trade. You wait for the high or low of Asia to go and you target the opposite side, right? Now I'm pretty sure that's probably got a 40-50% win rate depending on how you enter. And you probably can make money if you get over 1 to 2s, 1 to 3s, right? Now, at the same time, they were very good back in the day, and then there's moments where they're not that great, they don't work as well. Now, just because a few work, all of a sudden, doesn't mean you should base your whole data on Asia sweeps. Because it can come off the high, it could sweep the high, it could sweep the low, it can come off the midline. You know, yesterday, the reason I didn't short EU is because I wanted to see Asia high go, and it just bounced off the midline. So if today I woke up and traded off the midline, well, it just took out the high. So there's more context to this. It's not just about an entry model. And I think back in the day, anyone, if you remember Chock and Flip, which is something we used, I don't want to say we created it, I guess it's a different variation of something else, you know, again, I don't care. But that was very powerful provided it was used in the correct context. You know, if you just use Chock and Flip anywhere, you get smoked. Like anything, fair value gap, use it anywhere, you get smoked. Use it at the right level, then it can work, right? And I think what you've got to do is you've got to look at markets and be like, okay, do I need to adjust? Because I truly believe, and like I keep saying week in, week out, I've experienced this more than once. Systems change, edges change. You know, over a sample of 100 trades, maybe you smoke it. Maybe over 1,000 trades, the edge isn't edging as well. Maybe it needs that trader to trade it in a certain way. Like every edge can be built mechanically, but then it will have intuition and it have elements from a trader that you can't teach. You just have to build in from experience and from trading, right? So anyone that's finding that, don't get disheartened by that, but understand that on this journey, you are always going to have to kind of like be willing to adapt, evolve and learn a little bit more or pay attention to a little bit more. Because I truly believe that no edge is the finished article. There's always elements that might be similar, but there's always going to be things that you might not do. Like if you remember, so going back to earlier, if you remember when we were talking about POIs and stuff, right? And then you'd wait for like a chop and flip inside it. You target a week high or a week low. Very profitable. Made a lot of money doing that, right? However, what started to happen then is the chop and flip would get taken out and you'd get another chop and flip that we used to start calling trap. So you'd get trapped on the chop and flip, it'd take it out and then it would go. And like, again, I've seen so many variances across the years of different things happen. And you know, this is where I guess I can share this experience. You start to see things not work and you have to make a decision. Do I intervene or do I not? Look at me, I've been following a mechanical system because I wanted to make trading easy. I've been busy and I've been finding ways to try and make it easier. In doing that, I pretty much made my trading too simple. And although a mechanical system, a black and white system worked, last week it took 6 L's. Without the trader in the way saying these are bad trades because of where we're positioned and what we're seeing and the price delivery we're seeing, I would have been down 6%. Instead, I was down no percent because I made a decision. That you can't be taught, but you have to be willing to do that. Anyone that obviously isn't willing to do that, or anyone that carries an ego, you are literally the food at the bottom of a plug. And that is one of the worst things to be in life. What I'm trying to get at is like, even if you've had a few payouts, even if you've had some success, you can't just assume that's it, I've completed it, cool, quit my job, or I'm going all in, or whatever. Obviously it varies on the amount of money you've made and whatnot, but yet you'll realise that as you grow and develop as a trader, that edge that you used will have refinements, it will have things that you add into it, and it will make it better. And you'll look back at trades you used to take and be like, why did I used to take that trade? It's a bad trade. But you only learn that once you've actually taken the trade, once you've had the skin in the game, once you've actually put yourself through those motions. What's up, little man? You alright? Once you've put yourself through those motions and once you've put yourself in a position where you have experienced that in the market. And you know, I think a lot of people are obviously coming into it new, and a lot of people go to ICT, and look, I think ICT stuff works, like 100%. There's no denying that it works, but it's all about context and how you put it together. And obviously everyone tries to make videos on, this is why you're not profitable with ICT, or this is how you need to use ICT, or this is what you need. But you actually need to just get live experience. You actually need to be able to make decisions under pressure. You actually need to be able to read a market and read a chart and make that decision and be okay with that decision you made. So you have to be willing to, on that note, go, right, I'm going to take this trade. I'm confident in this trade, and whatever happens, happens. And, you know, not go on tilt if it loses, or not get overconfident if it wins. And, you know, it's like me today. I'll be completely honest with you all. I opened the chart, looked at them and went, I don't know. Like, I think and thought we would take the highs based on, again, Asia liquidity from yesterday was left. Asia liquidity from today was left. Monday high was there. Last week's high was there. I was like, you know what, we're stacking liquidity on the lows, we've got news, it kind of makes sense for it to run higher first and then maybe the big move comes short. But I didn't see any long opportunities for me to get in on EU, so I just said I'm leaving it. Gold, we trickled down overnight, didn't really go anywhere. I just said to myself, I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to try and keep catching a reversal, and I've potentially missed the sells. So maybe today it's best for me to just stay off the chart. And you know, sometimes that is the best thing you can do, is stay off the chart. And I get it, it's boring and it's lonely and you want to make money and it's long, and then you go on Twitter and people have made money today. And, you know, I know 100% if I open Twitter or Instagram, there will be people that would have caught EU long or GU long this morning, would have made bags. It's very easy for you to then go, oh, maybe I don't know something they need to know. But they might do that when you catch a trade, and it always varies. No one trades exactly the same and everyone has their own different views. But I think what I'm trying to get at is like, market's going to change, right? And you have to be willing to adapt with them. You have to be willing to understand that maybe what you did before might not work as well as it does now. Maybe it will come back round and work just as well. There's so many caveats to it, you know, whether it's entry models getting wicked out. Again, like when I was talking to people that have worked at brokers, and they say, you know, most people at brokers know stops are put above highs and lows. It's why highs and lows often get ran or wicked. Doesn't mean you were incorrect, but the stop positioning took you out. How many times have you traded a POI or a fair value gap or an entry, been wicked out for it to close back in and then work? You automatically go, that's a shit level, it didn't work. But it was the right level, it was just the stop loss placement. There's so many things that you have to work on as a trader from a technical standpoint as well as a psychological standpoint. There is no what's better, this, that, I'm this. I don't get the egos in the space at the moment and all the pathetic nonsense that you see online. Like, I've not really been wanting to go on Twitter or anything. I'm literally just loving YouTube because I think it's such a better platform, provided you filter it, which you can because you haven't got to look at idiots or flids. But like going on all these other platforms and seeing what people worry about and argue about and whinge about, I'm just like, what? Why would you want to even give yourself the time of day to even listen and hear and interpret all that and take it? Well, it's just not good for you. It's not good vibes. So, you know, to anyone that asks me that, like I'd say, you know, There's not like a proven, when this happens, do this. But yes, edges can fail. Yes, some edges last longer than others. Yes, markets can change. Sometimes you just have to be able to adapt to that. And that is what we're doing. And that's why I always say every week, the uncertainty trading brings, it's tough for people. And it's tough for myself. Some weeks you're going into the week, you might not make any money and you're like, fucking hell, I've spent a whole week, I haven't done anything. But that's working for yourself. Whether you've got contracts, invoices, whatever it might be, you might get dropped from a contract, you might lose a person you're working for, or a big deal you had coming in. Anything can happen in working for yourself. Just like working for an employer, they can easily say, look, sorry, it's not working, bye. That life doesn't have certainties. So you have to be willing to play the game of uncertainties, roll the dice, and see where you end up. Don't obviously be a gambler. People, how we doing? It's Wednesday. I'm just at the charts. I'm wearing blue. Baby blue. Compliment the shoes I bought last week. Summer's meant to be here, so I thought I'd change from the usual black. But yeah, man's bright out here. Right, make sure you keep your lips freaking moist in that. Moist in that. Yeah, I was looking at the charts, just getting ready to take the big man out for a walk, and then I'm off to London today. I'm just meeting up with a friend. To be honest, I'm looking forward to it, just having a bit of a break, just getting some coffee, having some food, chilling, chatting, catching up. Yeah, it'll be nice. It's nice to break the week up sometimes. It can get a little bit same old, same old. Yeah, I'm going to go out today. Like I say, I'm going to take him out for a walk, and then I'm going to go to London about 11. I might bring this with me, I might not. I'm going to just have a day of just kind of like catching up with a friend, just doing my thing, not having to worry too much about work stuff. I just want to have a little bit of a switch off. Last week, a couple of you asked me if I have any supplements. To be honest, I dropped a lot of supplements after the gut problems that I had. I felt like a lot of them are just not very beneficial for my gut. A lot of things, obviously, like whey protein, all that sort of stuff. I'm trying to get everything from natural foods, but a lot of the things I don't get is vitamin D. Obviously, living in the UK, there's not much sun. So, Symbiotica do a vitamin D3 and K2, which is decent to be fair. It tastes like tangerine. It's alright. And then I've started having this Shilajit, or I don't know how do you say this thing? You know what I mean. People know what I mean. Basically, it tastes like mud or compost. Yeah, it's not the best. But I have it in. People have it in tea or have it in coffee. Personally, I don't want it to ruin my coffee or my tea. I have one coffee a day, so I want that one to be one that I enjoy. And if I do have a tea, again, I don't really want it to taste like mud. So I literally just have hot water, sometimes lemon in it. It's the first drink in the morning that I'll have. Like hot drink. Anyway, obviously I wake up and drink a lot of water. Make sure you're drinking water. But yeah, these are decent. Shout out to Mark because he recommended Symbiotica. So, Steph asked me the other day, have I noticed any difference from taking these? Not yet. I mean, it's been nearly a month. To be honest, I haven't noticed much of a major difference. But again, it's one of those things that might take a while. Obviously, there's like 84 minerals in this Shilajit or Shilajit, or I don't know how you say it. But other than that, I pretty much have like sauerkraut, which is like a food for my gut, which is decent. Doesn't taste nice either, but I'm starting to realise, nothing that's good for you tastes that nice, but it's how you make it taste nice. You don't have to have it on its own. I usually have it on the side of my eggs and mix it in or whatever, but it's decent. Obviously making sure that, I'm running at optimal performance and I'm eating my best, trying to get my protein as high as I can, but from natural food. I know it's easy to get them in through shakes and stuff, but a lot of the shakes nowadays, they just don't agree with my stomach. They end up making me feel pretty rough. So yeah, we've got quite a lot of news today, so I'll see what happens on that. Likely London will just build up ready for news. Be interesting to see how news comes out and obviously what effect it's going to have on things. So yeah, it's been a quiet week at the moment in terms of trading. Not a lot for me. There was that position on gold, and that's been it really. There's been a couple of little bits and bobs, but nothing that's been nice enough for me wanting to get involved in. Also, while I think about it, a couple of you asked me, I think it was the week before, about the MacBook giveaway we were going to do. So that was going to be fully funded by Alpha, but unfortunately I still am yet to receive that or hear anything from that. So yeah, a little bit annoying. It's not good enough, to be honest. I don't like saying something and it not happening. It actually gives me the hump, because one of the biggest things I believe is people's word and people people say something, they should do it. So what I'm going to try and do is give me a way to figure it out, and I'm probably going to just like fund it myself. I just need to chat to accountants and figure some bits and bobs out first before I just start dashing out things. But yeah, a valid lesson in that. If you say you're going to do something, do it. It's a big thing. It's something I'm very big on with the girls and stuff. Just make sure that your word is everything. You know, if you say let's do this and then it doesn't happen, you know, for me, I think it's not the best way to conduct business. It's not something I like. I'm not fond of. They're the sort of things that do annoy me. But we move. I'm not going to dwell on it, but I just want to let you know. I'll sort it. Just give me a chance to figure out logistics. It's Friday. I'm on my way to the gym. Got a big leg session going down today. Really enjoying my training at the minute, doing push-pull legs. Just nice, decent sessions. Hitting all muscle groups, trying out different exercises and that. Improvising if the gym's busy, not letting it bother me. That's how it is. But yeah, a bit of a quiet week this week in terms of trades. Not a lot happened for me, to be honest. No trades taken. So yeah, it happens at times. Like there was quote unquote trades. Like I said before, if you were playing a pure mechanical system, you could have gotten yourself into a couple of trades. I think there was an L and a BE, and possibly a small win. So, you know, it is what it is. Like, obviously you had that win on gold as well. But you know I'm not trying to just take everything and anything anymore. I'm also really trying to focus on my Darwin X. I feel like the last couple I've kind of messed up. I've started really well with good intention, and then where I've like changed my edge slightly or added in things, it's kind of messed with it. So I'm back on obviously the risk engine. Started testing new things on it or trading new things on it, and you know it's just mashed me up. But the good thing with Darwin X, like I always say, is you don't have to risk 1%. You can risk as little as you like, because the risk engine will work out your risk for you, and it can increase your risk or it can lower your risk. I think a lot of people get confused with whatever their Signal account says. So the account on their MT5 or whatever that says is what the reflection of the Darwin should say. But often if it's ramped the risk up or knocked it down, it's going to be slightly different. So just bear that in mind. But yeah, today we'll see what happens, what's on the cards. I'm just going to go and smash legs. So I'm staring at the charts. Not a lot happening for me personally. So now I'm debating changing my chart colours, which is a dangerous route, because once you start, you can go down a rabbit hole and you can look at the time. 3 hours later, you've just been messing around with colours. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like sometimes I'm like, oh, you know what, that doesn't go, that doesn't look good. And you know what, the worst thing is I do it around the house, man. Like, if I see something colour clashing, I'm like, oh, I don't really like that. Like the other day, when I filmed that vlog, I noticed we had like a couple of games and stuff above the kitchen cupboards. And I see it in the vlog and I was like, that's mess, I can't do mess. So now it's got its own home, it's not up there anymore. I'm the same with the charts. Like if something seems messy or doesn't look right, I'm like, it's gonna have to go, you know. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet, but I'll update you if I change them. I'm just looking to like some like different boxes, colours, candles. I feel like black and white kind of works, but I've got like a grey Asia. I'm not sure if I like that. I need to change a few bits. But other than that, at the moment, not a lot happening for me. Could ruin my week by just going on tilt on Friday to think I've got a trade because I'm a trader. I'm on my way to physio. I haven't had it for about a month now. So I sort of stopped doing the regular every week, every other week. And now we've started doing, you know, monthly sessions. It's really important for me to still get it done, keeping on top of everything, my posture. Those pains that I had in my belly, they're still there, to be fair. They are still there. Obviously, I've had quite a lot happening. I've probably stressed myself out slightly. Steph's convinced that's what it is, but there's also a lot of niggles and a lot of pains there. But I tell you what, working on your hamstrings completely changes so much in terms of like back pain and posture. So if you're neglecting your hamstrings in the gym or your glutes, definitely start engaging them, because since I have been, it's been like a massive difference in terms of like the pains I've been getting and just all round mobility. Obviously I do yoga every morning, I always have done, but I think it's something that we don't do enough of. Not a lot happening today, to be honest. I spent most of my day playing around with chart colours, finally got some that I'm happy with, so I'm gonna stay there now. And if you catch me changing them again, then call me out, because I've got to keep these for at least 6 months. But I just like to have a change every now and again. Obviously you're staring at these charts a lot, it's important to like what you're looking at. I know some people don't think it's that deep, but I think colours matter. I think even like just having a clean space, a clean environment is so important. So having a clean chart for me is just as important. Not a lot's probably going to happen for the rest of the day, so I'm probably going to end this week's video there. It's been one of those weeks this week where it's just been a little bit quiet. I've also felt a lot of things not getting on top of me, but certain things catching up. Maybe you've not processed certain things and that, and it's been nice to just kind of deal with that. And I've just been locked in, focusing on myself. But you know, I'm going to make sure that I get the camera out a bit more and share a bit more insights into some things. And you know, when I'm on certain calls as well, I had a couple of incredible calls yesterday, and I wanted to film some of them, but again, you know, when you're on these calls, obviously you want to double check that people are there okay to be recorded, and you also want to be present. So I'm still finding the balance, but I'm really enjoying these videos. It's interesting to see a lot of other people doing similar style. You know, I think it's a great concept. I think they're great videos. You just got to make sure you're adding value and you're able to just be more than a trader, right? That's what I am. I'm not just a trader. You know, I'm so much more than that, and I want to try and show that on here, and obviously document and build and grow. But yeah, I'm going to waffle otherwise, and I'll keep you here for longer than you need to be. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you think someone will take value from these videos, give it a share around, give it a like, it helps. And I'll catch you in next week's video, people. Peace and love, gang.